In this section, we will learn how we can go ahead and how we can install WordPress on the Windows operating system. So if you are using the Mac operating system, then I would recommend you to watch the next section that is all about the Mac operating system. So as in the previous section, we got to know that in order to actually run WordPress, we need to have a server. And this is a software, Xampp, that is actually going to convert our computer into a local server so that we do not have to purchase a web server while we are actually working or in the learning stage of WordPress development, so that we can have a private playground and we can practice and experiment with WordPress without purchasing a server. So let's just go ahead and let's get started. The very first thing that you actually need to do is to go to apachefriends.org. And this is a website that is going to provide you this particular software, that is Xampp, which comes with Apache web server, that comes with a PHP compiler that WordPress is built in, and also the MariaDB so that WordPress can be connected with the database and we can actually install themes, add pages, and so on and so forth. So let's just go ahead and let's install this Xampp. Since we are using the Windows operating system, we will go ahead and we will click on Xampp for Windows. And once we will click on here, the Xampp will be downloaded. Alright, so now once the Xampp is actually downloaded, now what we have to do is to double click on it and it will open up. Alright, so now once you will open the Xampp installer, you will be given a screen about the Bitnami over here. And then it is going to give you a warning. So you can disregard that and you can hit on OK. If you do not get the warning, do not worry about it. Now, here we've got this setup window. And now we are ready to install Xampp on our operating system. So now the process is really simple. We have to just do the next, and next. So let's do that. We will click on next, we will click on next, and now here we have to select the directory where we want to install that. So we will be keeping that to be the C drive. And now we will click on next, now we will click on next, and now we will uncheck this. And now we will click on next, and we have to hit on next, and this is going to be installed. So let's wait till this is actually installed, and then I'll be back. Now, depending on your CPU, this process can take some time, probably like 5 to 10 minutes, so you can go and get a cup of coffee. Alright, so now you can see that the setup is now completed and Xampp has been installed. Now what we have to do is to uncheck this that says, do you want to start the control panel now? And the reason for that is because I want to show you that how you can manually start the control panel. So you need to uncheck this, and now you have to hit on finish. Now where did we install the Xampp? So we actually installed the Xampp in our C drive. So what we will do is that we will click on here. Now we have got this Xampp over here. We need to click on here. Now we need to go down, and here we've got this Xampp dash control. This is going to be the control panel where we can manage our server. Now let me tell you one thing. Let's suppose that you start the server, you are building the website, now you shut down your computer, and now you open that computer once again. Then what you have to do is to go into the C drive, open the Xampp, go to the Xampp control, start your server, and then your website will be loaded. Alright, so let's just go ahead, let's click on here, and let's open that up. You can also open it from here, or you can go to the start over here, and now in here you can search for Xampp, and you should be seeing this Xampp dash control panel over here, and you can start it from here as well. Alright, so this is basically the control panel that we have over here. And here it says Xampp installation directory and everything. Now inside this course, we will be working with the Apache, and also we will be working with the MySQL database. These are the two modules we will be working while we are building our WordPress website. So let's just go ahead and let's click on the start over here, and our Apache server will be started. So if your server is not getting started, and if you are getting any of the error, then make sure to watch the next lecture where I will show you how you can go ahead and how you can change your port. And if you did not have any error, then also watch the next lecture too after completing this lecture, because that is really very important. All right. Once this Apache server gets started, now what we have to do is to also start the MySQL or MySQL server. And now you can see that this is also started and both are actually running. Once these both two are started, now if you go ahead and you go to your web browser, all right, and inside the browser, if you now enter this in the URL, that is the local host, all right, just make sure to enter this. And then now when you will hit enter, you can see that we are actually taken to the Xampp over here. And here is the web page being loaded. That means that you have successfully installed Xampp on your computer. So now, this local host will be your website address for the WordPress that we will be building. Like you can see that when we want to visit google.com, and then we hit on enter, and then we are taken to Google, right? Similarly, when you want to visit your locally hosted website, you have to start your Xampp server, and then you have to enter localhost, and now you have to hit enter, and you are actually taken to your website. Now, when we actually install the Xampp, basically Xampp already installed some of the pages. That is actually the installation pages, like how you can go ahead and how you can work with the Xampp. So what we need to do is to get rid of these pages, because now we have to start installing WordPress inside the Xampp. So how are we going to do that? First of all, you need to go to your C drive where the Xampp is. Now you need to open the Xampp directory. And now inside here, you should see this htdocs. So open this up, and this is actually the file, this is actually the folder that contains every public element inside here. So if I just go ahead and I just press Ctrl A to select all, and I just delete everything inside here, this is what I want you to do. So make sure to go ahead, go into the htdocs and delete everything. Now if you go ahead and you go into the localhost and you hit enter, you can see that now this folder is empty, and whatever we will be adding inside the htdocs, that is going to be running as a web server. So now let's test if actually PHP is running. So for that, what I need you to do is to make sure that you go to sublimetext.com and install the Sublime Text on your computer. You can click on download, and Sublime Text is going to be downloaded. Now the process is really simple. You have to do next, 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 and next. Once you have downloaded that, now you need to search for the Sublime Text, and you have to hit on enter, and Sublime Text should open up. This is how it will be. So now once you are actually in the Sublime Text, now what you need to do is to go into the file, click create a new file, and you can see that a new file is created. Now what we will be doing is that we will be creating our first PHP file, and we will be running that as a server inside the server, and we'll be seeing if that is actually working. Now we will go ahead and we will click on file, and now we will select save, and we will save this file inside the local.c, inside the Xampp folder, inside the htdocs. And now we will name our file to be file.php. Now make sure to enter the extension, because this is really very important. All right, once you have entered that, now you need to hit on save, and you can see that our first PHP file is created. Now if we go ahead and we refresh this, you can see that we have got this file, because its size is 0, and the reason for that is because there is nothing in here. So now what we will do is that we will write some of the PHP code to actually test if our server is running perfectly okay. All right, so what you can do is that you can write here less than sign, question mark, PHP. All right, now you need to give a space. Now you can hit on enter. All right, and now we are in the second line. And this is actually the syntax of writing PHP. Now this is not a PHP course, all right? We are just doing this for fun so that we can actually test like how actually PHP is working inside our server. All right, now once you are in here in the new line, you have to also enter once more. Now you have to add here question mark and greater than sign. Now in between, whatever we will be adding, that will be executed as a PHP command. So let's suppose that if you want to print something, we will write here print. All right, now we will be adding in here 2 brackets, and inside these parentheses I will be adding 2 quotation marks, and inside this quotation marks I will write here it's working. All right, and I will just add an exclamation mark. Now make sure to also end your statement after the parentheses you need to add a semicolon. That's it. Now you can press Ctrl S to save it, and once you have actually saved this, now let's just go ahead and let's refresh this. So now you can see that the size is actually changed to 34 because we have some of the text in there. And now let's click on this file.php and let's see if it's working. And here you go. It says it's working. So the reason why it's working is because we are running it as a server. Now let's suppose that if you want to run it without the server. So let's suppose that inside the htdocs I've got this file.php. If I just drag this and I just drop it inside the Chrome, now you can see that it's not working, it's just showing the text. But here it is actually working, and that means that our server is finally working. So in the next lecture, we're going to be talking about the port. That is really important. I need you to watch that lecture. We will be changing that port. And later that lecture, we will be working with the WordPress installation, where we will be installing our WordPress on the website. So stay tuned and bye-bye. In this lesson, we will learn how to change a port of a Xampp server. So let's suppose that if in the previous lecture, when we were starting this Apache web server, and when you were starting this, you were actually getting an error, then this is probably due to a port confliction. So let me tell you one thing. Basically, when we actually install this Xampp, now Xampp uses this local host to serve the website. And in behind there is actually a port that is :80. So if we enter :80 and we hit on enter, you can see that the website is actually loaded. So this is actually a port that is given to the Xampp. But sometimes some of the softwares that you have on your personal computer or you will be installing in the future, that may conflict with the Xampp, because some of the software use the same 80 port and that conflicts with that. So that is why if you were having any of the issues when you were starting the Xampp server, or if you did not have any issues, then I would highly recommend you to change your port from 80 to something else, so that even if you install any of the software, that is not going to conflict with the Xampp. So let's see how we can go ahead and how we can change our port. Now the very first thing that you need to do is to stop your server, and you also have to stop it right here. Now once you have stopped your server, now what you need to do is to go into the config of the Apache. Now what you need to do is to click on this Apache httpd.conf, alright? And once you are in here, it's going to open up a notepad file. Now we have to go down, and right here you can see that after this hash sign, you can see that we've got this listen 80. So now this 80 port, this is the default port. Now we have to change this to something else. So we will write here 8080. All right, we will change this port to 8080. Now we have to go down further. And right here you can see that we've got this server name, and I'm at this right here. Now we've got this localhost :80. So instead of this localhost :80, I will change this to 8080 and make sure that this 8080 is similar to what you have entered there. So if you have entered there 8081, you have to enter there as well. Now what you have to do is to press Ctrl S to save this. Now you have to close this file. And now if you will go ahead and you restart your server, you can see that now we've got our port to be 8080. And now we can start our Xampp, our Apache, our MySQL, and both are running. Now if we go ahead and we refresh this, you will see that the website will not be loaded. It says the site cannot be reached. And the reason for that is because we have just changed our port. So before that, it was :80. But Chrome already know that website's port address are 80. So now if we have changed the port, then we have to define that port. So we have to write here localhost :8080, and now we have to hit on enter, and now the website will be loaded. Now, I would highly recommend you to change your port, because in the future, let's suppose that you will be installing some of these softwares, whether it's development software or any other software, there is high chance that that would conflict with the Xampp. So make sure to change your port. In the next lecture, we will be working with the installation of WordPress on our Windows operating system. In this lesson, we will be installing WordPress on our Windows operating system. So as in the previous lectures, we installed the Xampp and we have also changed our port. Now what we have to do is to install WordPress. So the very first thing that we need to do is to go to wordpress.org, and once we are in here, we have to click on Get WordPress, and now we have to click on Download WordPress, and WordPress is going to be downloaded. So once the WordPress is actually downloaded, now we need to go into our htdocs. Now we have to delete this PHP file that we created. And now we can go into the downloads folder and we can copy the WordPress zip file. Now we have to go into the local disk C, go to the Xampp, open the htdocs, and now we have to paste in this file. Now if we go ahead and we go to our local host, and if we refresh this, you can see that now we have got this WordPress zip file. But now what we have to do is to extract this. So how we're going to do that, we have to right click on it, and now we have to select extract here. If you do not have the extracting software, you can search for WinRAR and you can install that software. So let's just hit extract here, and now you can see that this zip file is going to be extracted on our htdocs folder. Alright, so now once this file is extracted, now we can go ahead and we can get rid of this WordPress zip file because we do not need it anymore. And now let's refresh this, and you can see that we have got this WordPress. And now if we open this up, it will take us to the WordPress installation page. Alright, so now you can see that we are in the WordPress installation page that says the setup-config. Now let me tell you one thing. Basically, you can see that when we go to our root folder or the main folder or the home folder and we hit on enter, here it says WordPress, and then we have to click on it, and then we are actually taken to the WordPress installation page. But right here, if we take a look at this website, this is a website that we will be building as our 5th project in this course. Now you can see that when I go into the domain name.com and I hit enter, I'm actually taken to the home page. Alright, I do not have to type in here /WordPress, alright, and then I have to enter, and then the website is loaded, right? When I just go into the website, it takes me to the home page. However, on this right here, you can see that we have to type in here /WordPress, so that it takes us to the WordPress folder, and then the WordPress is loaded. So what we have to do is to move all the files that are inside the WordPress to the main htdocs folder. So we can open it up. Now we can select all the files by pressing Ctrl-A, and now we have to press Ctrl-C to copy, or you can press Ctrl-X to cut these files. Now you can go to the htdocs, and now you can press Ctrl-V to paste all the files over here. Now we can get rid of this WordPress folder because we do not need it anymore, and we can hit on delete. Now you can see that inside the Xampp, inside the local disk C, inside the Xampp, now we've got this htdocs, and inside the htdocs we have got all the WordPress files. So now if we go to localhost :8080, if you change your port, and if you didn't change your port, you have to write here just localhost. Now you have to hit enter, and you will be taken to the WordPress setup-config page. Now we have to start the installation of WordPress. So let's select English as the language and let's hit on continue. Now here it says, welcome to WordPress. Before getting started, you will need to know the following items that is all about the database. So let's click on Let's Go. And now what we have to do is to create a database, tell our WordPress about that database, and WordPress will handle everything and it will be installed on our computer. So we have to work with these three fields: username, password, and database name. Let's just go ahead and let's work with that. So for that, make sure that in your Xampp, you have your MySQL started. And if it is started, now you need to go to localhost. And if you change your port, right here, :8080/PHP myadmin. And now you have to hit on enter. And this is going to take you to the PHP myadmin or the database page. Now what we have to do is to create a user account inside the PHP myadmin so that we can enter it over here. So let's just go to the PHP myadmin. Let's just click on the user accounts. And now in here, we have to add a new user account. So let's just select add user account. And now here, we have to enter the username. So in the username, now we will be entering here Tanzeel. And you can enter any of the name, any of the username you want. In the host name, we will be entering here localhost, because this is actually the local host, so make sure to add the local host. And in the password, now we have to enter QWERTY. So keep your password to be very simple. Do not worry about this very weak password. And the reason for that is because this website is going to be stored locally on our own computer, so we do not have to worry about it. Now you have to retype your password, QWERTY. And once you have entered everything in here, now you have to go down and here it says global privileges. Click check all. And now you have to go down and here it says go. Click on that and your user account is created. So once your user account for the PHP myadmin is created, now you need to add in that in here. So in the username, we will be entering Tanzeel because that is the username that we just added. And in the password, we will be entering QWERTY. This is the database host which is set to localhost because this is the host that we actually entered in here. Now we are ready, but now we have to work with the database name. So now what we have to do is to create a database. And how do you create a database? Here you can see that we've got all the databases created by the default. But now we have to create a new separate database for the WordPress. So how we're going to do that? We have to click on this new link over here. And it's going to take us to the Create Database window. Now here you can enter your database name. This is going to be like whatever you want to add in here, you can add that. So let's suppose that you want to name it as WordPress. You can enter that. Or you want to use a short form of WordPress, you can also enter that. There is no need to worry about it, and this is not going to be public. This is just a way to actually call your database so that WordPress can actually communicate with the database. So this should be actually unique. Now, since you can see that I do not have any previously database created named as the WP, that is why I can create this database, and I can click on Create. And now you can see that we've got this WP database created. Now, if you go ahead and you enter WP in here, you are ready to install WordPress on your computer. But let's suppose that if I enter the wrong password and I just hit on submit, now it will give me an error that establishing a database connection was unsuccessful. So I can retry that, and now in the password I can enter the correct password, and now I have to hit on submit, and this is going to be done. Now we have to click run the installation, and our installation is now completed. So in the website title, username and password, you have to enter information about your website that you can always change these later. So let's just go ahead and let's enter these. This is actually the last step of the WordPress installation. In the website title, I need you to enter your full name. And the reason why I need you to enter your full name is because our first project is going to be a personal website where we will be entering everything about ourselves. This is going to be the first project, right? So after installing WordPress and learning the basics of WordPress, we will be moving on to the projects and we will be building a replica of this website. The reason why I have chosen first project to be personal website is because you guys already know much more about yourself compared to any other corporate company. That is why we have to build our first project as a personal website. So inside the site title, you need to enter your full name, and in the username, you need to enter like anything. You can add in here admin as well. Now remember, this username is going to let you log into your website. So if I open the website, the personal website that I just showed you right now. Now let's suppose that if I want to edit this file or edit this website, then what I need to do, I need to type in here /wp-admin, and this is going to automatically take me to the WordPress admin panel. But before taking me to the admin panel, it will ask me about the username and password so that it can authenticate if I'm actually the administrator of the website and I can edit that website, right? So whatever you will be entering in here in the username, you can log in with that particular information inside here. All right, so I'll be entering in the username, my name. You can enter your name as well. Now in the password, we will be keeping our password to be very simple. That is going to be ASDFGH. Now remember, this is actually a very weak password, so you can use it because this website is going to be your own computer only, so you do not need to worry about it. When we will be transferring the website, we will be changing that password, so do not worry about it. And I will also show you in the upcoming lectures like how you can change your password as well. Now you can hit confirm use of weak password. Now in the email, you need to enter your correct email address, and now you can hit on install WordPress. Alright, so now you can see that here we've got a success message that WordPress has been installed. And now if we go ahead and we go to our website, that is the localhost :8080, and we hit on enter, you can see that we are in our website right here. And now we can work with this website. So let's just go ahead and let's go to the admin panel of the website to test it out. And from the next section, we're going to be taking about the WordPress dashboard overview, where I will show you how to actually log in, log out again. So do not worry about it. Let's just go ahead and let's enter the admin panel. In order to enter the admin panel or the dashboard, you need to write here /wp-admin. And now you have to hit on enter. It will take you to the login page where now you have to enter your username. We entered Tanzeel, and in the password you need to enter in here ASDFGH. So make sure to enter that, and now you can hit on login, and it's going to log you into the WordPress dashboard. Alright, so now you can see that now we are in the WordPress dashboard. And here we've got this username, our edit profile, logout. Do not worry about the profile picture. You can change it later on. In the edit profile, now you can go ahead and you can also change your password as well. So you can set a new password, and then you can change your password, and then you can hit on update profile. Similarly, if you want to log out of the website, you can just bring your mouse to that, and you can hit on logout, and you will be logged out of the website. Just like that. Now if you go ahead and you take a look at the website, you can see that this is how the website looks like. So now we are fully done with the WordPress installation. From the next lecture, we will learn how to install WordPress on Mac. So since you are Windows users, you can leave that section. And after that, we will be having a complete WordPress dashboard overview. I would highly recommend you to watch that. Now let me tell you one thing last time. And that is, now when you will be shutting down your computer and when you will be starting your computer once again, then what you have to do in order to access your website, you have to start your Apache and MySQL And now you can start from your website by just entering the localhost :8080.